Hey, I'm Chris and I'm a Deadhead.
I'm Scott, and I'm a Deadhead too,
And today we're going to be talking about Scott's favorite version of That's It for the Other One.
which happens to be one of my favorite versions of anything in the history of sound. So I absolutely love this. It is the May 2, 1970 performance from Harper College. It was, I believe, Dick's Picks Volume 8. It is easily one of the greatest concerts I have ever heard. We're going to talk mostly about the other one today, but the entire show is amazing. Um, and I've been chatting with Chris while we've been getting set up. I mean, I've just been going on and on about it because I have listened to this show from beginning to end so many times over the years. Um, I'm really going to talk about the other one, but before we do, I am going to just toss a couple other little tidbits out there. First of all, if you have access to this show, and you should because you can get it from re-listen, it's on Spotify for Dick's Picks 8. Check out the Viola Lee Blues when you're done listening to the other one, because Viola Lee Blues from this show is one of the most mind-melting jams I have ever heard any band play, and they just keep building up and then just dropping back into the song. They do it, I think, 2 or 3 different times, and it is amazing.
Yeah,
It
I
also
really I
has
really enjoy that too. It's almost like they hit that. It's like a crescendo. It's like and then
it is
it's like you think it's over and then they just boom
boom, and they just stop on a
right
dime
back
right
in.
back into the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really well done, and then it's got. I mean, the whole show is great. I'm going to toss out a couple of little tidbits about the acoustic set before we get to the other one. I'm going to play one of them. The acoustic set, I love the acoustic set from this show. Um, the banter between the band and the crowd gets pretty funny at times. They're having some technical difficulties, especially at the very beginning, and the crowd is pretty rowdy and not very patient. And so it really cracks me up. And one of my favorite crowd moments I have ever heard on any Dead bootleg is from this show, and that is from Cumberland Blues. And I'm going to play it right now. I'm just going to play a snippet. It is probably my favorite live Cumberland Blues I've ever heard also. Um, but I'm just going to tell you. So I think a lot of poor men make a $5 bill. Right as Bobby sings that, if you listen to the tape, you hear this poof. And I think it's a pyrotechnic going off behind the band. And when it happens, and you hear "ooh" from like everyone in the crowd, and it is so funny and awesome at the same time. So I'm gonna play that, and then I'm gonna talk mostly. I'm gonna say one thing about Saint Stephen too, and then we'll get to the other one. So I'm gonna just play this real quick.
All right.
A lot of poor men make a $5 bill, keep him happy all the time. Some other fellas making nothing at all, and you can hear him cry. Can I go, buddy?
All right, yeah, I'll listen to the whole thing if I don't stop it now.
Yeah, that's good
And
stuff, man.
this at one point the crowd is getting really rowdy, and it's probably the best thing I've ever heard Jerry Garcia say. At one point, he's finally like, "Everyone, just relax, man. We've got you all night long." And when he says that, the place goes berserk. And so, get to the second set, and they open the second set with Saint Stephen. And I've told Chris this a few times, so I have never found a tape that has the beginning of Saint Stephen on it. I think they just didn't hit play. The crowd in the acoustic set keeps screaming for Saint Stephen, and I think it's Phil at one point even like Saint Stephen. He's like making fun of him, and it's really funny. And they don't make them wait. They come out and open the second set with Saint Stephen after they've been screaming for it for 2 hours because I'm sure they were screaming for it through the New Riders set also. And I would give anything to hear like a good quality audience recording of the crowd's reaction when those first two notes were played. That dun dun. I bet that place lost their minds. And I would give anything to hear that. And then they go into the other one. And Chris and I have an ongoing conversation. I believe this and 21370, which was last week's video, I believe are the top two versions on Heady Versions. I love them both, and so anything I say tonight that in any way, shape, or form that could be taken as disparaging towards the 21370 other one, I want to say in advance that was probably the other one from 21370 is probably the song that transformed me from an increasingly interested fan into I cannot get enough of the Grateful Dead. That was the first really decent quality Holy Grail show I ever got, and I just had the second set, and I would listen to that tape over and over and over again. But over time, I'd heard about the Dark Star, but over
Okay.
time, it was the other one that I kept listening to.
Okay, so what you're saying is you're still going to talk about the Harper version, even though I did my best to convince you that the 213 is the better version last time, and you fell in love with the 213 and became a deadhead. Okay.
And I am pretty sure that I played an important part in convincing you that the 213 one is amazing.
You certainly did. That's without a doubt. But you go ahead. It's going to be a hard sell for me though, because
Okay, so
I love that 213.
And I do too. But so that's why I just got to throw the caveat out there. I do personally think that if someone came to me and said, I'm interested in the Dead and I have heard about this song, the other one, what can you tell me? It is the Harper College version that to me is just where they truly, it just crystallized in as close to perfection as any Dead song could get. Because they were never perfect. That's one of the things that was so great about them, is they were making up as they went every single night. That's one of the big selling points for me with the Dead. But so I'm going to say a few things before I hit play on this. I'm going to cue it up first. Oops, not there. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few little things I want you to listen for, and then I'm just going to play the first 2 or so minutes of the other one once they get from the roll to what I think is one of it. The jam, the first 2 minutes coming out of the roll, I think is 2 of the greatest minutes of music the Dead ever played. So I'm going to tell you, compared to 213. So to prepare for this video, last night, I've heard these both hundreds of times. Last night, I queued them both up, and I listened from the roll to the first verse on the 213 version and then paused it, and then listened to the exact same part on 5.2. Then I went back and hit play on and then listened to both of them, the second halves of the song. What I would say is I think that the 213 version musically is a little bit tighter. If you go in and listen to the 5.2, I can hear the occasional, like, they're not completely in lockstep. Not in a bad way, but they're just not flawless. I think 213 is a little bit more flawless. But I think that the 5.2 version musically is a little more focused. I think that Jerry's got a little more to work with here than he did on 213. I would say this version is slightly spacier than the version from 213. To me, the 213 version, especially the first half, it's like the ultimate version of the Grateful Dead as a rock and roll band.
Uh-oh.
I lost you.
I got lost.
Where'd you go?
It's
Come
terrible.
back.
I don't even know how that happened.
I don't know. Ain't technology great? But anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Are you there, kids?
But it's spacier. But to me, this is a song where being a little bit spacier is a good thing. Because, I mean, by 73, 74, the other one was, I mean, listen to the 618, 74 one, and they are off. Or the 72 versions that I've talked about. I mean, that 5.3, 72 is like from another planet. So I'm going to, and then, so that, and then they go into the first verse. What the build up into the first verse is perfect. And then listen to Jerry's fills during the first verse. So, you know, she lays on me this rose, and then he's just all over the place in between, and he doesn't do that as much on 213.70. So I'm going to just let it play, and you'll see me get into it, because there's the one part that I just absolutely love. Here we go. And I'm going to play the end of drums, too. Oh, no, abort. Halt. Ha ha! I forgot to tell you the part I think is most important here, especially for you.
Did you just stop that?
I did.
Okay.
I forgot to give you the biggest thing. Okay, when they start playing, I know you love the part in 213 where you got the on the organ, okay? As soon as they start playing out of the roll, the organ this time is like, okay? And he does it several times like that, and Jerry is just lost down in the mix somewhere. You can barely hear him, okay? And then the last couple times you hear the organ, it's a little bit slower, so it's okay? And when Jerry's lead comes in, I don't know if it is a technical glitch, if he just forgot to switch pickups, or if he's using a pedal or what. But like the first two notes he plays, it's almost like they're muted. They're harder to hear. And then the tone of his guitar changes and he just goes off into the stratosphere. Okay. And it is cool. All right. But it's sort of the same thing where he takes off coming from the organ, but it is a very different approach less than 3 months later. Okay. I
Okay.
got to throw that in there because it's cool. Here we go. There's the organ. Here comes Jerry. Okay. So, it's 2 minutes of music right there.
That's good.
When the cymbals build up and Jerry's just coming and then they go right back into the main other one riff, the main other one theme. I think that is one of the greatest moments the Dead ever achieved on stage. It is amazing. And it's good on 21370, but they don't ever have a moment where they nail it quite like that. And I've never heard any other version of the other one where they just, I mean, he's got this spacey little lead, but it's almost like a guitar solo because it's just 2 minutes, you know, it's not like a 15-minute jam like they
Right.
do a lot. And he goes back into it and the entire band just locks in and just nails the return to the other one. And so again, compared to 21370, after they kind of hit the big crescendo, when I listen to it, and it is amazing, but I think they almost lose a little steam. It's like there's something like they're tired. It's like, wow, we just did that. That was cool. Now what? And here, I'm not going to play the whole thing because the entire song is great, but they keep going and they build again and then they do it again. And it's going to take me a minute. If anyone's watching this, I've been listening. I prepared for this by listening to the Dick's Picks version, and that's not what we're listening to now, so my timings are off. So let's see. That's I'm not sure. I want you to listen to when they get to the first verse. I got to find it though. Oh. Okay, so this is pretty close, I think. And I just want you to hear when they go into the first verse, they don't screw around. Bobby doesn't sit there and wait 10 minutes. They immediately go into the vocals, which they nail. But listen to Jerry's little fills in between, okay? Because they're cool. They are quintessential Grateful Dead.
Spanish lady come to me, she lays on me this rug. It rainbows fire around and round, the tremble and explode. It left a smoking crater of my mind, I like to blown away. Well, he come round and busted me for smiling on a cloudy day. Robin, 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 oh, coming around. Robin, oh, coming around. Coming, Robin, come here, Robin, oh, coming around. Robin, oh, coming around.
So, to me, whoops. I don't know why I keep dragging that thing off tonight. It's just to this point, this version of the other one is completely flawless. And it's just, there's just nothing they could do better, except for maybe take the one little part out of the 213 with the organ where Jerry just goes nuts, because that is killer, right? It's one of the coolest Jerry moments ever.
You know, I think so. I talked about it for 20 minutes.
I know you did. Well, in the night before was it the night before your wedding, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where I kind of introduced you and was getting you just wanted to listen to that one part over and over again. It's like,
And
seriously,
I
dude, listen
have.
to the rest of it because it's good too.
I have definitely done that over and over.
So after the first verse here in the chorus, they go into one of the things I've always, and they do this a lot on the other one. This is not unique here. But Jerry just plays these really slow little notes. He's not soloing now, and I've always thought it's so cool because this song to this point has just been this thunderstorm, you know. And now it's like he's just like he's toying with everybody, and he did this for years. It's not unique to this version. But then they start to go into another jam. And I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. And this jam is, I don't know how to describe it. It is not pretty music. It's not. It's not Eyes of the World. It's not happy music. This is almost kind of like mean, but this is what builds into the second verse, and it's just cool. So here we go.
All right.
Oops, I'm going to back it up just a touch.
Escaping through the field, I came across an empty space. It tumbled and exploded as the bus stop in its place. Just come by and I got on, let's win it off again. There was Carl O'Neill at the wheel, the bus tune never ever left. Come in, hold on. No. Come in, hold on.
Oh no.
Get back.
You froze up for a second there. Go ahead.
Am I there?
Yeah.
So there we go. There you have it. You got. Then it's back into Cryptical. And incidentally, I don't know how long it's been since you've listened to this whole show, but the jam from Cryptical into Cosmic Charlie is one of my all-time favorite transitions that they ever played between two songs. It is pretty mind-melting. And
it hasn't been more than a week.
So it's
maybe not the whole, not the whole show, but I was definitely listening to the other one from this show because
I'm really
I knew you
focusing
were
on the
talking
other
about
one
it.
right now. But
Yeah.
both this and 21372, they do the Cryptical envelopment also, and it's really good in both of them. So yeah. So anyway, take what I just explained to you and now go back and listen to it, especially the part that when I listen to it over and over again, when Jerry's lead starts after the organ.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. That was new for me because I had not picked up on that.
Yeah, let's see. I don't want to back it up too. So yeah, keep your eyes. So there's the organ. And now here's coming Jerry. And now listen to his guitar. The way the tone changes there is so cool.
Yep.
And I don't know. I mean, I don't think a video of this exists. I would love to know if it was just him switching pickups. I don't know. My guitars don't make that big of a difference, but I'm also not Gary Garcia when I flip pickups. And he always had such crazy rigs with his guitar. So, but and then it just goes off and it's a solo, it's not this total jam like they do sometimes, but it's very other one-y, and that's what goes into the crescendo that goes back into the other one, and I think it is absolutely killer. So
it is killer. I still prefer 213, I think, but
Yeah,
I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to this one through your ears for a while and see how it compares. But
historically, I have gone back and forth.
You've made some good points.
I love both of them, but I don't think I think that the other one riff, the main other one riff, is one of the coolest riffs I've ever heard in the history of rock and roll. I just think it is a cool riff, and they're doing it on 213, but this particular version, around the 2 minutes after they do the roll, they go back into it, and it's just emphatic, and they are just like so there. And I think it's awesome. I just think it is one of the great moments in Grateful Dead history, and that's saying a lot because I have listened to a lot of Grateful Dead over the years.
I don't disagree because the Harper Show is absolutely fantastic, and
it is.
And this is a killer. It's a killer version of That's It for the other one.
And
I've listened to 213 a lot more, so I've got to let this one catch up some maybe.
And this is maybe a conversation for another time, but if I were to pick the show that I most wish I had been at, I love that Paris 5372 that we talked about a couple weeks ago. But the crowd is very polite in that one. And I've been to a lot of concerts, and I prefer rowdy crowds.
Mm-hmm.
Harper College would be on my very short list of the shows I most wish I had been at. So
I was negative 6 days old.
yeah, I wasn't born for another 3 years.
It was about a week before I was born. So
Yeah.
so I have an excuse on this one. It's all
Yeah,
those
me
it's all
too.
those it's all those late 80s and 1990s shows that I should have been there. Oh well.
Well, yeah. At least they were good about recording their shows and letting people record their shows.
Yeah.
If anyone from the dead ever sees this, thank you for that. So, because you got a couple later day deadheads here who, I mean, I did see the Dead 3 times, but
Yeah. But re-listen
they
is
were
great.
good.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
I
All
was,
right, that's what I've got.
and it
And I
was
haven't eaten dinner.
it was fantastic. And thanks for the bus ride. I appreciate it. And I
welcome.
will be listening to it through your ears the next couple times at least that I listen.
I'm really
to
looking forward to, now that I've kind of explained what I love about this one. I'm really curious, and I'm not trying to necessarily convince you it's better, but it is amazing, and I want you to be able to listen to it and say, "Damn," because that's what I say when I listen to
it. All
it.
right.
I just
Well,
cursed.
I listened to it with you, and damn, it is good. But I knew it was good. But you have added to it, and that's kind of what this is all about. So
Okay. Yep.
thank you very much,
Alrighty.
and we will
Yeah,
see you
have a good
guys
night.
next time.
All right.
Night.
Bye.